Hi y'all, I'm Mari and I'm Kate Diamond's least favorite Magicam influencer. Welcome back to another installment of Mari Explains Twist Theories. Today we're talking about a fairly old theory that, like the Traitor Ace theory, died down a little before having a resurgence of popularity. I've had a few people ask about Kate via my submission box, so today's video is really killing two birds with one stone. So let's chat. Was Kate the previous Housewarden of Heart's Lobule? The premise is pretty straightforward. Kate was the Housewarden before Riddle, and because he was lax with the rules, Riddle challenged him for the Housewarden role and won. That's it, really. It's a simple, good theory. But before we get into the evidence for and against this, and talk about why it's getting popular again, let's look at the origins of this theory. So, where did it come from? Anecdotally, I had always heard that it was from the Japanese side of the fandom, like a lot of initial theories did back then, and that turns out to be true. Usually when I try to find the origins of theories, it's kind of difficult, and a lot of the time I either 1, can't find it, or 2, I think I found it, but I can't confirm that is truly the origin. But extremely luckily for all of us, I was actually able to track down the original tweet and creator for this theory. I will admit I'm not fully sure how to say their username, but this theory was originally created by Twitter user Sachi024. I'll call them Sachi from this moment on because I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Zero Nijuyon or Zero Neon, or if there's another way to say it that I don't know about. They posted the initial theory on June 8th, 2020, and then they posted a follow-up on the 22nd after they saw their theory had gone viral. Because Sachi has whole Twitter threads on this theory, I'm going to go ahead and summarize their main thread about this, and we'll transition into the evidence for section of this video. I'll also include some of my own thoughts as well, but we'll start with Sachi's evidence since it is the original evidence. If you'd like to read the original threads, I have both of them linked in the description. Sachi's points for this theory are the following. When people talk about the old Housewarden, they don't mention if he's graduated or not, leaving the possibility he's still around. Kate says the old Housewarden was pretty lax with rules, and Kate is kind of a chill person. And there's also the fact that Kate seems to have some kind of authority within Heart's Lobule, even though he's not the vice Housewarden. He and Trey are often the ones that have to deal with the students. Kate was put in charge of the spell drive team for the inter-dorm magic tournament. Sachi points out it's kind of weird to let a random student do this. And to add to their point with my own, Trey was on the team, like he could have been the one in charge, but no, Kate was put in charge of it. Riddle has shown that he thinks Kate is capable of having something of a leadership role, and it could be because Kate was the old Housewarden. That was Sachi's point, to make that clear. My point was just the Trey thing. I would also like to add some more points of my own. I get the other students avoiding Riddle, but I think it's interesting how the other older students seem to trust Trey and Kate and go to them instead of Riddle. Again, I get it. But I find it interesting that even though Trey has been Riddle's vice Housewarden for a while and enables him, students still go to him even though they have every reason to not really trust him. And it makes me wonder if the students are really going to Trey because they know he's way nicer than Riddle, or if they're really going to Kate as the old Housewarden who they know would be sympathetic, and because Trey and Kate are always together, Trey is just kind of there, but it gives the impression that students are seeking out Trey. I kind of feel like this is subjective, but I also think Kate has a lot of qualities that would make him a good Housewarden, so the idea of him maybe having been the Housewarden isn't that much of a stretch. While all Housewardens have to deal with punishing misbehaving students and find out what happened if a conflict arose, Heart's Lobule has their own court and everything, and Kate has been shown to be really good and very efficient with finding out information. Kate would be someone very good at holding court, which Heart's Lobule does. When the statues of the Great Seven are burned in Screaming Halloween show, it takes Kate like 5 seconds to find out what happened. He's very easy to talk to, and like Sachi pointed out in the spell drive thing, clearly he has some leadership capabilities if Riddle put him in charge of it. Overall, there's some very interesting points in the game that could be implying Kate once had the Housewarden position before Riddle did. Hi everyone, Editor Mari here. So while I was audio editing this, something occurred to me. A lot of people consider Kate to be partially twisted from Cinderella. There's a few reasons for this, but the main one is 2 overbearing sisters. In Cinderella, she has a loving family and gets to be a normal child and have fun, but then the stepmom and stepsisters come and relegate Cinderella to being a servant in her own home. She essentially lost her position as one of the, official daughters of the house. I mean, she still technically is, but, she's not treated like that. To be honest, I feel like if Kate was the previous Housewarden, what happened to him kind of parallels what happened to Cinderella. He either won or was selected for the role of Housewarden, but then someone came in and took that role from him. And now he's just a regular student, and to go further with the Cinderella comparisons, he still has to do the work of a Housewarden or vice Housewarden, but it has none of the actual authority or titles to go with it. Like, does that make sense? Both Kate and Cinderella had good positions, but then lost them to overbearing and frankly rude characters. Anyways, it's just something that occurred to me while editing. So, what's the evidence against this theory? I don't really have or have seen a rebuttal for the old Housewarden still being around. I mean, we honestly just don't have much information on him to say anything conclusive. He could still be at the school, or he could be graduated, we just don't know, and both are equally likely. When it comes to Kate having some authority in the dorm, it could just be he's given stuff because 1, he's a junior, and or 2, he's friends with Trey who knows he's capable. I mean, I don't want to call Kate a nepo baby or anything, but I mean, it could be Kate was just initially given tasks not because of a past position, but just because Trey thought he'd be good for tasks. As for Kate being in charge of the spell drive team, it could be that Trey was extremely busy with helping Riddle, so while he could still play, he didn't have time to be in charge, although honestly, I think this point is kinda weak, but I couldn't think of anything else. And to counteract my own points, saying people are going to Kate and not Trey is just pure speculation. There's nothing to support that in the game, or manga, or anything, it's just a guess. We don't know the requirements for picking a Heartslobule Housewarden. We know the position can be challenged, but we don't know how they're chosen in the first place. And also that rule does apply to all the dorms. So that doesn't really mean anything for Heartslobule specifically. While I do think Kate might be a good leader, that might have nothing to do with picking a Housewarden. After all, Pumpfury picks based on who can make the strongest poison. There's nothing about good leadership involved. It's just a proficiency at making potions. It could be that the way for choosing Housewardens at Heartslobule has nothing to do with being a good leader. There's interesting points both for and against this theory, but overall, right now we just don't have a lot of solid evidence to go one way or the other. But with a new Kate card coming out, that may change very soon. So spoilers for Book 7, Chapter 12, sort of. The book hasn't come out yet, but we know the special SSR for this update. Trick King Jacket Kate. That is so hard to say. I hate that name just because it's so hard to say. Oh my god. And I can't even default to the Japanese name for it because literally that's what it is. That's not a translation. That is straight up just what it says. So I can't even be like, oh, I'll just go with the Japanese name. No, there's no easy way out. There's no easy way out. Anyways, this card caused a huge stir when it was first announced. 1, the card looked fantastic. Fantastic cards do that. Kate's outfit looks so cool. However, it was the small details in the card art that made people think of this old theory. I think there's something to be said about the name of the outfit, Trick King Jacket. The title of King is in there. It kind of invokes a leadership role, for obvious reasons. Although it said the previous Housewarden wore the same uniform as everyone else, it could be in Kate's dream he has fancier clothes, one fit for the king of the dorm. There's a gavel on a desk or table that's in front of Kate. Obviously, this is most likely a reference to the courtroom in Heartslobule. Second, there's a crown symbol drawn on Kate's cheek where his diamond suit usually is, and specifically, it's the exact crown that's associated with the Heartslobule Housewarden. It's the same crown Riddle both wears as an actual crown but also has as a brooch. But what I think the most solid piece of evidence we have is the back of the chair Kate's sitting on. It's white and blue with gold hearts. As we see in Riddle's dorm uniform card, this is the throne the Housewarden sits on in the courtroom. Kate is sitting in the throne reserved for the Housewarden. All these symbols combined point to Kate being a Housewarden here, and this is what caused the theory to come back into the spotlight. But here's the thing. Is Kate a Housewarden in his dream because he was one in the past? Or is he the Housewarden in a dream because it's something he wanted but never had? Or maybe it's some secret third thing. We don't know right now, but theoretically we're gonna know soon, and that's why I'm making this video now. While I could have waited until we got a clear answer, I wanted to release this before we did since I think once a theory gets confirmed or denied, there's not really a reason for me to do a video on it. And since this theory has been around for so long, and it's one most fans know about if you've been around for a while, it would be kinda weird for me not to touch on. I've always been pretty neutral to the Housewarden Kate theory. I think there's solid points on either side, but it's never something I've been a steadfast believer in. But honestly, right now with that card, although I know it could just be dream shenanigans, it's kind of making me believe it. But again, we'll have to see. This whole situation is just interesting, because it feels like this should be confirmation, but the chapter isn't out yet, so we're in this weird state of feeling it's confirmed, but we don't actually know. Regardless, I'm curious to see how this plays out. I'll leave a pinned comment with an update for people so that once the story's out, we can maybe get a definitive answer. But yeah, all we have to do now is wait and see if this gets confirmed or denied. Which honestly, that's kind of exciting, not gonna lie. Like, oh my god, we're finally gonna get something confirmed or denied. Oh my god, it's like oh my god, wait, it is Christmas! Oh my god! It's Yana's Christmas present to us! Nah, it's not, but anyways, it is kind of exciting that this is gonna get, like, confirmed or denied, you know? Now we just gotta wait. Thank you everyone for watching, and a very special thank you to my channel members and Twitch subs. Your support helps me to continue to make these videos. If you'd like early access to my videos, consider becoming a channel member. Patrons and Ko-fi members can get my scripts early before I record them. I livestream over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see y'all later.